In Las Vegas, it's not uncommon to witness someone climbing out of a manhole in the middle of a bustling intersection. This too is part of the city's reality. While the world knows Las Vegas for its iconic casinos, vibrant neon lights, and round-the-clock entertainment, there's a hidden, darker side that most visitors never encounter. Behind the glamorous facade of Sin City lies a stark contrast. Thousands of people trapped in poverty forced to live on the streets. A recent local government report revealed that nearly 8,000 people are homeless in Las Vegas, a significant 20% increase from the previous year. While the city is often seen as a place where fortunes are made or lost in its casinos, it's also home to many whose dreams have completely fallen apart. Just steps away from the luxury of the Strip, many of those without shelter struggle with mental health issues and substance abuse, caught in a seemingly inescapable cycle. Far from the laughter and excitement of high-end hotels, the harsh reality of homelessness in Las Vegas unfolds. The crisis continues to grow, shaped by numerous complicated factors. In 2022, over 5,600 people were reported homeless, with more than half lacking permanent shelter. A key driver of this issue is the skyrocketing cost of housing, which has far outpaced residents' earnings. For every 100 low-income renters, there are just 14 affordable housing units available. This severe housing shortage forces many to spend more than 30% of their income on rent, leading to financial strain that can easily spiral into homelessness. The COVID-19 pandemic worsened the homelessness crisis, with more people losing their homes due to the end of eviction moratoriums and a lack of affordable housing options. While local authorities are working to address the issue, the severe housing shortage continues to push more people into homelessness, highlighting the urgent need for solutions. In downtown Las Vegas, near places like Catholic Charities, a growing number of homeless individuals gather daily, hoping to secure a spot in overcrowded emergency shelters. For many, hope fades quickly as shelters reach capacity long before everyone has a chance to get in. Waiting outside for hours becomes a grueling, mentally draining routine, highlighting how fragile life on the streets truly is. The unforgiving desert climate of Las Vegas only adds to the hardship. In the summer, temperatures frequently soar above 110 degrees Fahrenheit, turning the streets into a scorching furnace. During winter, the desert's cold nights pose an equally dangerous threat to those sleeping outside. The extreme heat of the day and the biting cold at night create serious health risks, leaving the homeless population constantly battling the elements for survival. Away from the downtown streets, some of the homeless find refuge in an unusual and hazardous place: the flood control tunnels beneath the city. Known as the Mole People, these individuals include the homeless, those struggling with addiction, and others trying to escape the perils of life above ground. It's estimated that about 1,500 people live in these tunnels, which stretch for miles under the neon-lit casinos. Built to manage occasional flash floods, the tunnels are mostly dry, offering a kind of underground shelter for those with nowhere else to go. Yet life beneath the city is filled with its own dangers, including the risk of sudden flooding, which can rush through the tunnels in minutes, endangering anyone who doesn't escape in time. Beyond the flood risk, unsanitary conditions breed disease, and violence is a constant threat. Despite these challenges, many prefer the tunnels to the streets, where they face frequent police raids and conflicts with other homeless individuals. Even in this isolated world, however, there is some connection to the outside. Organizations like Shine a Light regularly reach out to tunnel dwellers, providing support and resources to help them break free from poverty and addiction. At night, the Mole People often emerge from the tunnels, scavenging for food and supplies while trying to remain unnoticed by the bustling city above. For many, life underground offers a brief escape from the harsh realities of street life, though it comes with its own dangers and uncertainty. Homelessness is not just a physical struggle, but also a fight against the stigma and discrimination that follow those living on the streets. Misunderstood by much of the public, the homeless are often viewed as a burden or threat, with little consideration of the complex and often heartbreaking circumstances that led them to such a life. This harsh judgment makes it even more difficult for the homeless to access jobs or receive the basic dignity and respect everyone deserves. To survive, many rely on panhandling, recycling, or other informal work to make ends meet, finding any way possible to scrape by. Even in their efforts to survive, the homeless are frequently exploited by those who take advantage of their vulnerability. Many face violence, harassment, and exploitation, with some becoming victims of human trafficking. In this harsh reality, some are forced into illegal labor or endure physical abuse, trapped by circumstances beyond their control. Health problems present another enormous challenge for the homeless community. Take, for example, Carl Graves, whose story was shared by ReviewJournal.com. When Graves and his roommate could no longer afford their Las Vegas apartment, the 44-year-old felt the crushing weight of his situation. Struggling with bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and epilepsy, Graves resorted to swallowing dozens of pills in a desperate attempt to cope with his mental illness. After being rushed to the hospital and recovering, he found himself back on the streets, a familiar outcome in Las Vegas, where the instability of homelessness worsens pre-existing health problems. With no access to proper hygiene or nutrition, homeless individuals are at greater risk of chronic illnesses like tuberculosis, skin infections, and respiratory diseases. Many also face untreated mental health conditions, such as bipolar disorder and schizophrenia, which only intensify under the constant stress and trauma of street life. Without secure housing, consistent meals, or access to medical care, their physical and mental health rapidly deteriorates, trapping them in a vicious cycle that is hard to escape. Access to health care is extremely limited for the homeless population. Most lack health insurance or reliable transportation, forcing them to rely on emergency rooms as their primary source of care. While Nevada's Medicaid expansion in 2014 offered some relief, many still depend on emergency services for their basic health needs. Surveys indicate that 40.2% of homeless individuals rely on emergency rooms for medical treatment. This dependence not only fails to provide the comprehensive care they require, but also places a heavy strain on the healthcare system and taxpayers. Rising emergency room costs create a cycle of untreated issues, leading to more severe and expensive crises later. Homelessness in Las Vegas impacts not just individuals, but also the broader community and city infrastructure. The growing homeless population brings with it a range of social challenges, including crime, disorder, and a negative impact on the city's image. Public spaces are filled with people in need, which disrupts the experience of residents and tourists alike. Additionally, homelessness significantly burdens healthcare services and emergency responders, driving up costs for the government and taxpayers. The Las Vegas government and numerous NGOs are working to tackle the issue through programs aimed at improving access to healthcare, education, and job training. Initiatives like the Courtyard Homeless Resource Center provide integrated services, including temporary housing and medical assistance. Other organizations, such as the Las Vegas Rescue Mission and the Shade Tree, offer shelter and recovery programs. However, limited funding, shelter space, and transportation access hinder the effectiveness of these initiatives. Social stigma and the lack of identification documents further complicate efforts, making it even harder for homeless individuals to access the services available to them. The sight of tattered tents and weary faces serves as a stark reminder that not everyone in this city is dealt the same hand. The stark contrast between luxury and hardship in Las Vegas highlights a growing social divide in the heart of this entertainment capital.